If you're an independent retailer or e-commerce brand, stop what you are doing and head to Retail Raw, that's retail, roar.co.uk, and sign up right now. That's right, Retail Raw, my free online summit is back. It's the UK's biggest and only summit for independent retail, and we have got an incredible lineup. It is happening on the 26th to the 27th of March, and it is completely free. You will not believe the speakers that we have. First and foremost, we have Mary Portas herself, Mary Queen of Shops, giving you her view on the future of independent retail. We've got 7- and 8-figure founders, fast growth, people who've built chains of retail stores, and some serious retail experts sharing what's actually working right now. 2 days of inspiration and information, no fluff, the kind of insight people normally have to pay for, but it's all free. So if you want 2026 to be your strongest year yet, register now at Retail Raw, that's retail, roar.co.uk, and keep listening if you want to hear what past attendees have said about the impact it had on their businesses. The retail industry feels like it's changing every 5 minutes. Every day, there's a new buzzword, there are new trends, there are new things coming up, new headlines that we're seeing about the way that people are shopping, who's buying, what's going on with AI, what's happening with email. Is email dead? Is email the most important channel? TikTok, should we all be on TikTok Shop? Or is that now for a different generation to the one that we typically serve? Welcome to the Resilient Retail Game Plan. I'm Catherine Edley, and in the next few minutes, you're about to get powerful real-world retail strategies from insights shared both from my guests and myself, backed up by my 25 years in the retail industry. Keep listening to learn how to grow a thriving, profitable product business. Let's jump in with this latest episode. If you're somebody who sells into shops, you may be wondering how wholesale shifts. You may be thinking about footfall changes if you're a retailer, or whether people want to shop online more or in person. You may be thinking about what's happening in the economy. You might be thinking about world events.
We will not be drawn into the wider war.
The way that the consumer is thinking about spending. And how are you supposed to keep up with all of this where you're also unpacking all of the deliveries and doing your payroll?
Right, that's the delivery unpacked. Payroll's due Friday. Someone just posted that TikTok Shop is now everything. Should I be on TikTok? My accountant rang about the VAT return. The customer just asked why my website isn't mobile first. And apparently AI is replacing Google search now. So I don't even know what that means for me.
So why does it actually matter whether or not you keep up? Being a business owner, it is really important that we have at least a decent understanding of what's different in our industry, what's shifting, what's changing. Way back between the years of 1996 and the year 2000, I completed my business degree in international business at Warwick Business School. And one of the things that we were taught was that part of the role of a business was to understand the environment in which it was operating. And that is the competitive landscape, as well as what your customer's going through, as well as the larger socioeconomic or the macroeconomic factors. It was always told to us that this was an important part of running a business. And I think that although that is true for multinationals, I believe it's also true for small businesses as well. We need to have a sense of what's going on, because if you don't understand what's changing, you can miss opportunities, you can waste money, and you can make reactive decisions. So, for example, if you're finding that the consumer has really shifted away from big purchases at certain times, and you don't have any of those kind of smaller price point pickup that we're seeing that is becoming even more important when people are feeling uncertain about the economy, then that might impact how you choose to stock your shop, for example. Or another thing that may happen is as simple as if you're not aware of the fact that the consumer is feeling a bit wobbly at the moment, if you are meeting a lot of customers that sound like they're feeling a bit wobbly or unsure about purchasing from you, it can feel like something that's personal to you as opposed to something that is really going on in the wider industry. It can also feel overwhelming to you as a business owner if people are coming up to you and talking about things that you maybe don't feel as up to date on, and it can make you feel unsettled. there is a fine line that you have to draw. You do have to work out how much information is useful versus how much of it is overwhelming. So I think for a lot of small business owners, the important thing is to get updated, to get updates that are relevant for you, for your type of business, but then to block out the rest of the noise because it can feel really, really noisy. It can really help you protect your business, help you protect your peace of mind if you keep updated with what's happening, but getting that information through the lens of why that's really important for small business owners. And then also what's realistic, because for a lot of small business owners, you're not going to be able to suddenly drop everything and go in a completely different direction. And to be honest, it's very rarely worthwhile doing that or the right thing to do. Probably during the pandemic, we saw a lot of people doing that and it probably was the right thing to do. But outside of a global pandemic, a lot of the time, it's about taking this information, thinking about how it applies to your business, maybe factoring it into how you're planning or what you're thinking about doing for the future, and then being able to carry on doing what you do best, which is delighting your customers. Retail Raw, my free online summit coming up very soon, the 26th and the 27th of March. If you haven't got your ticket yet, it's completely free to sign up. Go to retailraw, that's roar.co.uk. That was really the thinking behind this summit. I have 2 categories of speakers that I invite to speak at Retail Raw. And I spend the entire year combing through the people that I know, looking at who's out there to find the best people who are really tailored to small and independent retailers and brands so that you know that the information that you're getting is absolutely perfect for you. And what I do is I look at all of the different aspects of running a business and I pull people out who are going to be really great speakers to give you great information about what's going on in 2026. We have the inspirational speakers. Now, I touched on that 2 weeks ago in episode 292, where I was talking about all of the incredible founder stories that you're going to hear in the Retail Raw event. What was so incredible about Luke's story is that he took the time, he did the research, and then he won the TikTok Breakthrough Seller of the Year for his first year in business, where he shipped 650,000 orders in year 1. We also have another amazing entrepreneur, Catherine Byrne. You might recognize her name from The Apprentice, where she was a finalist. She has a brand called My Christmas Pajamas. And again, she has some really great concrete information about how she manages with such a seasonal business. So that is one aspect of Retail Raw. The other aspect is experts. So it's inspiration and information. Those are the 2 key elements of Retail Raw. And that's what guides me when I'm putting this summit together. So in terms of the information then, what I do is I look at all of the different aspects of what it takes to run a business, both bricks and mortar and online. And then I go through who would be great to talk us through what's happening right now in the industry so you can get a really good sense. For example, this year we have got, as always, some incredible experts. Now, first and foremost, I have to talk about our headline speaker, Mary Portas, Mary Queen of Shops herself, the retail legend, broadcaster, writer, activist, is speaking to me as part of Retail Raw. And I'm so excited about this because, let me tell you, I worked for 3 years to get this. So Mary always has been top of the list of my dream speakers for Retail Raw. So I wanted to have Mary be the main speaker from 2024 when I first launched it. And I've spoken to her agent every single year. And for various different reasons, including last year when she was releasing her book and things like that, it has never worked out. But this year we made it work. And she is such an inspiring speaker. She talks a lot about what she calls the kindness economy. She talks a lot about the feminine energy in retail and in making connections with the community. And she is going to be sharing her vision for independent retail and how she has a vision for the high street, how she has a vision for what shops can be as part of the community. So I'm really, really excited to share that conversation with you because it's just really fascinating in terms of her view she's very tapped into the zeitgeist. She was really ahead of the curve when it comes to things like resale and secondhand. She had Mary's Living and Giving stores before resale got nearly as popular as it did now. And she's going to be sharing what she sees next for communities, for retail, for small businesses, and you definitely don't want to miss that. So again, you can listen to Mary's talk. All you've got to do is sign up at retailraw.co.uk. That's ROAR.co.uk. Get your free ticket and you'll be able to watch that talk. So who else have we got? Again, I wanted to go with both the kind of industry trends with Mary and the direction of retail, and then also get really super specific. So coming back for the third time, we have Iman Ishmael. She runs Iman Copy Co. She is an email strategist, email marketer. Her talks are always everyone's favorites. Whenever I do Retail Raw, I always get loads of comments afterwards, specifically about Iman, because she just brings so much amazing energy and really explains things in such an easy to understand way. So she's going to be talking about email marketing, and specifically how it can really help your business and how it's changing in 2026. So again, all of these experts, I have briefed them to really explain not just why email marketing is great or why it's important, but what's happening in 2026 that small business owners, small retail business owners very specifically need to know about. We have also got V. Roberts, who runs Insights for Marketing. She's going to be sharing her thoughts about the direction of marketing strategy, what it needs to be in 2026, and some of the tactics and some of the trends that she's seen that really make a difference for her clients. Luke Carthy is an incredible expert when it comes to both SEO, understanding the impact of agentic AI, so AI search, what that's going to mean for people's websites, but also specifically, how do websites need to function? What are people expecting from their websites in 2026, and how do we need to adapt? Therese Autumnblad is the founder of Small Business Collaborative. I've known Therese for many, many years now and collaborated with her in lots and lots of different ways. She's going to be sharing for anyone who sells wholesale. She's going to be sharing what's going on for wholesale trends in 2026, how to stand out, and how to get seen by your dream stockists. I can't wait to share her insights with you. And we also have Ian Nicholson from the Vacant Shops Academy joining us for Retail Raw. I'm really, really excited about this conversation with Ian, because if you haven't heard of the Vacant Shops Academy, then I do definitely recommend you go and take a look. Because his consultancy, it's a specialist placemaking consultancy, which essentially means that he goes into areas that are experiencing high numbers of shop vacancies, and he works with all of the parties involved to really help them understand what makes a great high street, what will really help, and then basically to implement actions that will really help reduce the vacancy rate and also just improve the community experience of a retail area. So he is right at the cutting edge of what makes a great retail experience. And I cannot wait to share with you all of his insights about what we can do, basically. He's all about practical action, which I'm a big believer in practical action. So I can't wait to bring those to you. If you come to Retail Raw, sign up for your free ticket, you will get trusted voices and you will get one of my key mantras, information for action. This is not about long, fluffy conversations with people where you're going to leave and think, well, what do I do with this information? I'm always asking people, what's the one key thing people should focus on? What should people be taking away from this? What do people need to know? And I pick people who can speak directly to the experience of small and independent retailers and brands in terms of what they need to know for 2026. So you get the inspiring founders, you get the incredible experts, and you get some really concrete information all in one place over 2 days from the 26th to 27th of March. There are replays for at least for a few days afterwards, but you have to be signed up to get it. So how does it help to be tied into what's going on in terms of how does it help your sales? Being aware of how the industry is shifting can help you when it comes to setting your priorities. So we all know that the most precious resources that you have as a small business owner are your time and attention and your money. So being really clear on how the industry is changing can help you work out where you need to be putting your extremely limited amount of time. It can help you understand how customers are buying It can help you understand how the tools that you use in your business are best used in 2026, because knowledge is power. Funny story, when I was writing my book, Tame Your Tiger, How to Stop Your Product Business Eating You Alive, one of the tasks that I did, this was all pre-AI that I wrote this, by the way. Back in 2022, I wrote it, published it in 23. And one of the things that I had to do was I had to go through and check that I hadn't used some phrases too many times. It turns out there are certain phrases that I use, and knowledge is power is one of them. I had to actually go through the book and remove the phrase knowledge is power from about 6 different places because it was getting repetitive. But it is something that I really believe in, that as small business owners, it can be hard to find the information that's relevant to us. It can be really difficult to find the information that is specific to small, not just small businesses, but small business retail. It can be hard to find the updated information, which is, again, another real driving force behind Retail Raw, why I'm so passionate about this and why it's something that I spend as much time and effort as I do on creating and bringing to you. So if you've been feeling a little bit overwhelmed by all of the noise and what's happening in the industry, you're feeling maybe a little bit behind, or you maybe should delve into some of this, then this is your shortcut. Come along, retailraw.co.uk, and get your free ticket, get signed up, get your curated insight with no fluff. Go to Retail Raw, that's roar.co.uk, and then you don't have to guess, you don't have to wonder what's happening in the industry. You can just get that shortcut, get those incredible expert information, hear from Mary Portas, get inspired by her rallying cry for independent retailers, hear from experts in the world of email marketing, SEO, website, marketing strategy, get really clear on what needs to happen, and get insight into the high street, how we can help the high street, what we can all do, what practical actions we can all take to make a difference. Thank you so much for listening. If you are a fan of the podcast, I would absolutely love it if you left me a review. You can leave a review and rate the podcast on Apple Podcasts. And you can also rate the podcast inside the Spotify app. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next week.